Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and MM Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Hallis Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
All right. How great is that? The 2024 Detroit Lions, they clinched their playoff berth for the first time in 10 years. Congratulations, boys. Yep. And it should say men, but, compared to us, they're boys.
Right. True that. Probably could be coaching half of them. Anyway, yeah. That's great. That's great.
Ralph.
What's up, Ralph?
The chat. Good to see you, Ralph.
Big Dan Davis. What's going on, Big Dan?
Big Dan, I already put it in the chat. It's right there. Congratulations to the 2024 Detroit Tigers. They clinched a playoff berth for the first time in 10 years. That is a big step when everybody was bitching about Scott Harris at the All-Star break in the trade deadline. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Detroit Tigers. I said that.
Yep. Oh, actually, you said the Lions at first, but no matter. Don't worry about it. We know what you were talking about. It's written Lions right there.
Tigers, there just ain't no Bears on my.
After Bears.
Hello, Yoli. Yes, Detroit Tigers baseball. In a moment, we're going to be joined by a very special guest. I'm hoping our co-host comes on, Dan Leonard. But because he was watching the game and he was waiting for the clinch, it is none other than EZ of Woodward Sports, the heavyweights. He has the link. I'm waiting to see if he's having any issues. So far,
just a fun note: the Chicago White Sox now have the dubious distinction of having lost the most games in modern Major League Baseball season.
Yeah,
they lost 121 games,
and we got 2 more to make it so they set a record no one will touch.
The 1962 Mets had 120 losses.
Torque got robbed though on that one.
I tried to tell my friend about it. They said, well, they're going to try to put their best pitcher on the mound. I said, yeah, good luck.
Good evening, Matt Henry. And of course, let me do this because Yoli's in the chat. And we'll hear it again when Smoking Dad pops in.
That's right.
He's the DJ.
And I'll be dancing.
Yeah, we always do every time I hit that stuff. As long as I got the sound going right.
The Cleveland, then 1899 Cleveland Spiders actually lost 134 games. I
think the team even close to us for record right now since August 11th is the Yankees, right? And they've got 13 losses.
Yeah. Right, man. I feel sorry for the White Sox fan. I mean, I don't really, but I do.
Of all professional sports he had. Well, you know what?
0-16 is kind of a bad distinction to have, too.
Do you remember 2005 with Alan Trammell? and how
Oh, you
bad it
mean
was. Didn't
when
we
he was
tie that record? No, we were one away from that record, right? We lost 119 that year. And those boys said, I ain't losing another one. And won out and knocked a couple people out of the playoffs, if I remember right.
2003 Detroit Tigers.
Okay, yeah. I know it was prior to Leland.
Yeah, you're right. It was during the Alan Trammell takeover.
Yeah. And you know what the bad part is? I don't even think Alan Trammell's that bad of a coach. He had that bad of a roster. When your best player is Bobby Higgins. Oof. Oof. And what was our best pitcher at that time? Frank Tanana? Oof. Oh, Sweet Lou was great. That
Oh, yeah, Lou
Sweet Lou
Whitaker was my
and
guy.
Alan Trammell, the way they played second base and shortstop, still
That's
the
first
most
state.
double plays turned in
Mhm.
MLB history as a duo.
Yep, you
Yeah,
got it, Big Dan.
you got it. And great coaching.
Mm-hmm.
It's a testament to AJ Hinch. Yes,
What's
James.
up, James?
Woo! The Tigers did it. They're in the playoffs for the first time in 10 years. All
They
right,
started
he's on his way. He'll be here any minute. Bring back Leland. He's smoked in the dugout during games.
smoking.
Yeah,
Leland.
Doyle Alexander was 11-0 down the stretch in 1987. Yeah, we made the playoffs that year and lost to the Twins, wasn't it? In 87?
87.
Yeah, it was the Twins
Well,
out, I think.
no, down the stretch in 87. Yeah, that's when we lost to Twins.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And in 84, we knocked the Twins the fuck out.
That's the year that Jack Morris went to the Twins, as I believe correct. Yeah.
Yep. And then in 91, he won the World Series for him.
Should he be up there for Coach of the Year? Yes, he should.
With where we were at the All-Star break, with a 0.2% chance to make the playoffs at the All-Star break. That's how bad we were. We were 9 games under 500. Yeah, the Twins kicked our asses thanks to Kirby Puckett.
Kirby Puckett always had our number.
After that,
he was a Tiger killer. He was a Tiger killer before that.
Right, I know, but in '84, that was the only year they kind of shut him down. Yep, in '84, we swept the Royals.
Hey James,
and Willie Wilson.
James, think about this. The Padres are actually pretty good this year, and they're in the playoffs. Think about that. It'll be 40 years to the time that we beat the Padres. Now, wouldn't it be cool if it'd be a Padres Tigers World Series again?
Oh yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Here's a funny thing for you. What if in the first round of the playoffs we faced off with the Yankees?
You know what? We were going through all the season series of the Yankees this year, and we're 2-4 against them. However, we got swept before the Tigers started doing their thing, and then we won 2 out of 3 after, I think it was in August when we played them. And out of all 6 of those games, guess who didn't pitch in them? Skubal didn't pitch in any of those games. No, yeah, he pitched in one of the games. I'm a lie. Yeah, he pitched in one of the games,
and he had
they lost that one.
We lost it 2-0, if I remember right.
No, it was 5-2.
Was it 5-2?
Yeah, it was 5-2 because he had given up 2 runs, but it was tied 2-2 when he left, and then some jackoff came in and gave up the other 3 runs. So, yeah, the Yankees are beatable.
Garrett Cole's living it up to it this year because since the All-Star break, he has a 1.08 ERA. That guy's been on fire since the All-Star break. Don't kid yourself. Garrett Cole is probably the guy you want matched up with Skubal. And pray to God they go to the bullpen first.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. If Scooble starts, man, it's over.
But you know what I'm saying. You want to get to their bullpen before Scooble goes out is all I'm saying.
Let's see.
Man, it's been a long time since we had another playoff team in Detroit. We always get one, and then everybody else kind of shits the bed.
Yeah.
Bring on whoever, never back down. We got this. Let's go, Detroit Tigers. Work Cole for pitch count. Amen, SJB. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't necessarily have to get hit, but work the counts. Get him up there where he's doing 7, 8 pitches a batter. And that's just something this team has been good at. Oh, Jack Morris was filthy.
Yeah, it was.
With shutouts in '84, if I remember right. And
So we had Willie Hernandez.
Ricky Saccott, let's fucking go. Hottest team in baseball. Yes.
We can only hope.
It's been 10 years. We deserve this. It's been 10 years, and we.
Yep, 55. You're exactly correct. 55 and 63 when we started that.
Oh, let's see who we got here. We have the one, the only, Easy of Woodward.
Easy. What's going on, Easy?
Go Tigers.
Yeah,
Go.
That's been the topic that we're talking about before we get into the game preview. Just talking about how we had a 0.2% to make the playoffs at the All-Star break, 9 games under 500. And then as soon as Baez hurts his back and goes on the IR, we go 31-11.
Thank God for Baez.
Yeah, who thought you'd be saying that this time of year?
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. In a roundabout way, he helped us make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And as much as and nobody wants to admit it, that Flaherty trade worked out because everybody they called up from it has been amazing in this run we've had.
Sweeney included. You know, that was like the throw-in piece I got in that trade.
Ricky Saccott says, "Take your money and get the fuck out of my city, Baez."
Yes.
Right.
Well, that was the only decision by Scott Harris when it was the team option this year, and they had a chance to let him go with no penalty, and he didn't do that. And this year it's the player option, so we might get stuck with this sumbitch again. That's the bad part.
Well, we got who I think doesn't Baez has the lesser contract between the two, right? He's got like the 17 million and
the next year it's only 17 million, but it's 17 million more than he deserves. He deserves like 150,000 a year, like a pine rider.
Regardless of that,
he should just retire. Honestly, bro. I don't know what he's. I mean, I don't know why they signed him to begin with. To be honest with you,
it was a knee-jerk reaction to lose Correa when Correa decided to go to the Twins, and that was a godsend in itself because he got that 30 million per year average on his contract, and he's been hurt the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So you can say what you want. We probably got to deal with Baez at least next year. After that, there's no more guaranteed money in it. But next year, the player option. But if he chooses to go somewhere else because we run him out of town, that's up to him.
Exactly. Buy him out. Chris, and I want to do all due respect to Chris Illich, but like, if he doesn't buy him out, like you're just not doing this team any favors. After watching like what took place after he left, like these young guys. I mean, that's the way AJ Hinch has to coach, man. These young dudes, these young athletes. They're all stealing bases. They're all playing defense really well. I mean, Torque, that catch he had, I think it was earlier this week, the little, first base. Like, just let the young guys roll and go spend money on like guys that actually play. If you're going to spend money this offseason, like don't bring Baez back. You can't. All due respect to Baez, you can't bring him back in this team. He's awful. He's not even good defensively anymore either.
And I'm going to say it right now. Bringing back Baez is why JD Martinez wanted nothing to do with the Tigers.
This dude signed a 6-year, $140 million contract, and it's from 2022 to 2027. Man, dumb.
Yeah.
And
Just
but
dumb.
like I said, the best shortstop in baseball that was a free agent at that time was Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
Defensively, Baez was second place on the free agent list, and that's according to every Major League Baseball pundit. But anybody that knows baseball, Baez doesn't have the plate discipline to be a good batter. Period.
Well, dude, you didn't got no baseball. I mean, his numbers suggested it too. He was long gone from the year he hit all those home runs. And that's all he could give you is a home runs. If he's not hitting a home run, he's not giving you anything. He's not
Right.
worth it. It's
And
a
that
stupid contract.
when they started rotating him in and out, it was crazy. His slugging percentage and OPS, because he'd go 1 for 3, but that one hit would either be gone or a double with men on
Yep.
base. And yes, Andrew Merklinger, that is easy. Andrew Merklinger is a Lions faithful from down in Texas. He says, "What's up, homie?"
Shout out.
But let's get into
What up, dude?
what we got coming up, though. Monday night, we got the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm going to say this again. They look good right now, but who the fuck have they faced?
Yep.
Kenneth Walker's out, both offensive tackles out. Am I saying that's going to equal a lot of sacks? No, but it should be a benefit to Reeder. McNeil is playing, it looks like. Laporta was back practicing today. And then you got Aiden Hutchinson. If Reeder shows out like he did in week 2, Aiden Hutchinson's going to feast. Because if the one guy's blocking him, they'll switch him to the other side. We've already seen it.
I'm with you, man. Like I that's the guy I think that needs to step up this week for damn sure is DJ Reeder. Aiden Hutchinson up against another backup tackle. I don't know. I mean, he's on a tiger streak with the backup tackles now, man. But I'll take it gladly. I'll take it gladly. But if DJ Reeder can cause the havoc that he's known to cause in that middle, that leaves Hutchinson those one-on-one situations. Another guy too, I think can step up though too. Levon Zarique. I really like what I saw at camp. I like what I've seen this so far this year. Marcus Davenport was awesome to have. He applied the pressure. He was a beast of a human being. But we have a lot of bad guys in this. Like I'm talking about like bad boys, not like in a bad way, like in a good way bad. Like we got a lot of bad boys in defensive line. And I love Terrell Williams as a defensive line coach. He's really bringing the best out of these guys. So Josh Pascal, I'm not like best friends with him or whatever, but we follow each other on Instagram. And I asked him like the difference, going forward. And he was kind of brutally honest with him. He was like, look, you're the best. You're better. Like stop all this spin moves. Stop all like this finesse shit. You're better as a bull rusher. I don't want you to work on anything other than bull rushing from here on out because everything else, like no offense, is a waste of time. But that's what he's doing. He's cutting the ball short and allowing him to be good at what it's kind of like AJ Hinge. AJ Hinge putting guys in the spots that they're best at, not asking them to do shit they can't do.
Exactly. That's one of the things I noticed that Pascal hasn't been doing. He hadn't been utilizing his hand pop and his bull rush because that's something that he had while he was with Kentucky, and he hadn't done it so far in his career. And we're coming up. Aleem, Branch, Laporta, all those guys returned to practice in the last couple of days. Dan is sitting frank, and yes, it's a good idea. With a partially torn pec, we don't need it to fully tear and miss him for the season because he needs surgery. We got the bye week next week, and I think that's going to be massively huge when we go to Dallas.
Yeah. Yeah, those injuries Dallas got too are kind of big on their part. I mean, good for us, but I had confidence in us winning that game either way. But yeah, Brian Branch, I did not expect him to see him active in the practice report. I'm thankful for it, and I hope he's healthy. But he was unconscious last week, and Trent McBride's out this week with that same concussion. Our guy's back though, and he's going to be huge for this game and the Texas game then after too.
Yeah, the only people that are out are the two that are that went to the injured reserve out of the active roster. Allen Robinson was called up to the active roster now.
Mm-hmm.
Him and Tim Patrick both this week. And so that means we're not going to have this revolving door unless you see an injury at wide receiver, because Isaiah Williams is back practicing at full strength. So, and I'm interested to see what that kid does with the kick return. Because I'm sorry, Khalif isn't it on kick returns, but he's great on punt returns. So leave him where he's at on punt returns. Let Isaiah Williams and Baki do the kick returns, and I think we're going to be set up good. And I hope the offense continues to build more balance like it did last week, and I expect it to, because that one ton with Zakwa said it best here. Leonard Williams and Byron Murphy is out this week for their defensive tackles. So that's huge with Glasgow, Awasika, and Zietler set up to be in the middle. Because if you remember right, when Jonah Jackson came back healthy before he got hurt again for that 1 week, that was the only win we had when Frank Ragnow was out. It was Glasgow at center. Jonah Jackson actually played at right guard because Awasika's better at left guard. Do you remember that, Easy? That was the only time we won a game without Frank Ragnow. So I'm not as concerned with Frank Ragnow being out because their defensive tackle. Orlando Escobar Jr. Oh, he's funny. I had to do a double take. I thought I was on Woodward Sports for a second.
Hey, Easy, I want to get your take on something. How do you feel about the offense right now?
Yeah, man, it's tough to have a feel. It makes no sense, really. Like, all off season and just through common sense, you thought they'd have that cohesiveness, right? The same play caller, the same quarterback, a majority of the same offensive line. Really, the only new guys would be Zeitler, and maybe you could call J-Mo a new piece of it because he's finally emerged like that wide receiver too. My personal opinion on it is, I think both Ben Johnson and Jared Goff are overstimulated with the arrival of Jameson Williams, just because he's such a playmaker. I think they're trying to force the ball down the field a little bit more than what that offense has been. Their bread and butter is running the football and spreading the ball across the middle of the field. That's why Sam Laporte and Amon-Ra St. Brown were as great as they were last year. I think the emergence of Jameson Williams, though, they're trying to just force, some stuff listen, God bless JG. He's our guy. And I think we can go to the Super Bowl. I think we can win a Super Bowl with him. But that's his game isn't a vertical game. It's very precise timing in the middle of the field. That's how we got to play. J-Mo can get his, but allow it to open up through the play action and run. That's what I think they got to stick to. And you saw a little bit of that last week. And guess who didn't perform last week? Jameson Williams. So it's at the sacrifice of him making big plays, but that's how we operate. That's how we work best. We can't afford these turnovers from Goff.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's like the second half of that Arizona game. I was like, Ben, I want to come down there and just kick you right in your ass because you're just doing some retarded stuff, like on 2nd and 2 instead of just running the ball. He's going to go up there and make Goff pass the ball. I said, the more times you make Goff do stuff that you don't need him to do is the more times you're looking for a disaster to happen because Goff is not that type of quarterback. Stop doing that.
And we have to remember, Glasgow's adjusting to being a left guard. He was our right guard last year and center. He never had to play left guard. So this is an adjustment for him. The only one that didn't have to adjust because he doesn't play left guard is Zietler.
Yeah.
So, and that's why if you look in those 2 bad games with all the pressures, guess who are our lowest rated guys? Because the guard makes the tackle and center better. So if Glasgow's playing bad, Decker's grade is going to be lower, as well as Ragnow's. And that's why out of the 19 pressures that was given up, Decker had 1, Sewell had 1, Zietler had none, and Ragnow and Glasgow had the rest in that game. And that's what spelled failure versus the Bucs. That and throwing the ball 53 times with Jared Goff. And can we just say it? Jack Fox is our backup quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. He's 4 of 5 for 61 yards right now.
Zietler, man. I think so far in the free agent signings, he's the best one right now. DJ Reader hasn't stepped up to that quite yet, but every game, Zietler's been on high PFF every game. He's the only offensive line that's consistently, and that's saying a lot because Sewell's on that line too. Remember, so that was a good pickup.
The good
Yeah, there
thing,
was
Dan, is it looks like Goff got better with his slide than he used to be. His
mhm.
slide used to be so awkward. So when he's doing those RPOs and when nobody's expecting Jared Goff to do an RPO, the last one he actually looked fast on that 5-yard scamper. I couldn't believe it. I was like, who is this guy? That's not Jared Goff running with a football.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
it's like you don't really got to be like so super fast, man. You just got to be aware, like of your opportunities to go. Like Holmes is not the fastest guy. He'll gouge you for 50 because he knows that the field's open right there. Same thing with, and he's a little bit different. But back in the day, Ben Roethlisberger, he was never really fast, although he could break a tackle. People bounced off of him like he was made of rubber, but he
Right,
When
he's a big
you're
dude.
get the
5
target.
and
Yeah, he recreate a pocket somewhere and it'd be open. And he's like, well, fuck it. There's 10 yards in front of me right now. And you get the
Right.
rumbling and stumbling his way down. And JG can do that. Matter of fact, he did it with the Rams a little bit. I'm pretty sure, I could be mistaken in this, I'm pretty sure they clinched the NFC Championship game on a golf scramble, on a golf draw, I think it was.
And yeah, James Burgess said it's funny about Monty the Python needs to be that offensive victory formation drive. I love throwing David's name at Chicago fans and laughing about Swift. You know what? I said the main reason why Swift wasn't going to be good in Chicago, and it's proving true. It's the O line. It's the same reason why Caleb Williams can't look what he can do yet. Because we saw in that second half when they had the big lead for the Colts because Anthony Richardson's not that great either. They started playing a zone defense and not blitzing as much. And all of a sudden, Caleb started carving out some short passes, a nice long pass here and there. And you saw he is capable of being a 300-yard quarterback with protection because nobody was blitzing but the D line. And it also helped that DeForest Buckner went down in the beginning of that third quarter, too. Because until he went down, Caleb wasn't doing nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Jared,
I'm very curious to see if they change their scheme going forward because that offensive line is just so bad. At this point, coaches deal with bad offensive lines like Sean McVay did just a couple weeks back against us, just getting the ball out there quick. It's really up to Shane. What the hell's his last name? Their offensive coordinator there in Chicago.
Shane Waldron.
Yes, thank you, Shane Waldron. It's really, I mean, this is on him now. If they can't figure some type of offense that's like just quick and fast paced, I'm happy with it. By the way, if they can't figure that out, but like, it's going to be very telling about that coaching staff. It's kind of crazy that you have this rookie quarterback, you have all these offensive pieces, but you kept your defensive coordinator as a head coach. I never understood that. Fuck the Bears though. I love to hate the Bears. I'm so happy they fucking suck. So happy.
Thank you.
Love this.
There you go.
There you go.
Fuck the Bears.
Yep, fuck the
got
Bears.
this one too. Fuck the pack. And last but not least, I don't care if they're undefeated. The Vikings can go get skull fucked.
That's so funny. I was literally thinking that. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, a lot of Chicago fans are talking about the offensive coordinator. He better win this next game, or he better do something good this next game, or don't come back home. Yeah. I said, what shit? Oh, well, actually, Eberfuck is the guy that you need to get rid of.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, Orlando, too. Fields is happy. Yeah. 3-0 right now.
That's the biggest thing. I said this offseason, if they did the trade with Washington that they offered instead of what Pittsburgh offered, because Pittsburgh offered a snack-size can of Pringles that can turn into a full-size can of Pringles by being a fourth-round pick. But they should have took that deal from Washington. After I read the deal that Washington offered to get Fields, they offered him the second pick, next year's first, and next year's third. So they'd have had the first pick, the second pick, and the ninth pick. They could have went. Yeah, the Bears could have had all that if they'd have took that trade. But Fields didn't want to go to Washington because they're a bad organization. He wanted to go somewhere he was picking.
At that time, yeah.
And the Steelers
were Washington had the sweat off their brow then now too because Jaden Daniels looks pretty fucking good.
But Jaden Daniels looks good. I think it's between him and Bo Nix for the best rookie quarterbacks right now. And I said Bo Nix would be decent just because even though he was in the college for a long time, every year he had a different offensive coordinator or a different offensive coordinator and head coach, which means completely different playbooks. Every year he got to go through, and every year he improved.
Yeah.
His name is Bo Nix. That's the reason why he's a great quarterback. You can't have that's a quarterback name, Bo Nix. That's a quarterback's name right there.
Kind of like as soon as I saw Colt Keith, I'm like, okay, this guy has a baseball player name, and he looks like a baseball player. This kid's gonna be good.
I don't know, but not Caleb looks bad, but not Carolina Young bad.
Yeah. I mean, he might just need to develop some more too. But I figured they would have saw that in camp before heading into the season.
Yeah, I think what happened is when the other teams didn't play their starting defense against him, and he had all of his starters playing in the preseason for those few drives he was in, and he actually looked good, and he was reading defenses. Well, yeah, when you're playing a backup defense, that's like playing a top-level college defense, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're playing basic vanilla packages too. It's not like they're throwing a lot of defense at them. They're not doing stunts or anything like that. It's preseason. First of all, and if they're playing with second string, those guys got to understand the playbook. So if they're not understanding the defensive playbook, which is,
there we go. The Bears suck until proven otherwise. I'm not even going to argue it. Yo, JB, I converted a Chiefs fan to become a Lions fan. Congratulations. That had to be hard to do. Isaac Chata, a Green Bay Packer fan, is watching. It says his new name is Cabe. The L comes after.
That's going all right.
And then Orlando puts that name I don't want to say in there. No, let's say it the way that the announcers do it, the football games in high school. Noah, and it's Noah, not Noel. Noah Kaniga. Got to add that K in there. You're getting in trouble on anything social. Is up there for GOAT sports names. Jackson Jobe getting called up was week 2. Yes, he had a great closing game the other night, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in Chicago terms, they might not be as sucks as the White Sox.
True.
But they are in the ballpark. Yes, I am giggling like Peter Griffin.
That is true, man. You got the Bears looking as bad as they do, and the White Sox fucking suck as well. That's awesome.
Yep, worst team in Major League Baseball ever.
Yeah, after tonight's loss, right? On tonight's loss, on the 21st. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Tigers gave their 100th loss and their 121st loss.
Yes, sir.
Good job, Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Fuck the damn White Sox.
Quinn is also a Yankees fan. Yeah, we want you in the ALCS too, because every time we faced the Yankees in the last 3 times we've been in the playoffs, we swept them.
Mm-hmm. Robert Wardle says it's Waldron, horrible OC. Reason Hawks fans ZRE. I don't know that ZRE means that.
Because he's a Seahawks fan. Robert Wardle, he says Waldron being gone was the best thing that happened to him.
Well, dude, I remember Jackson Smith and Jigba was doing an interview. I think it was during the draft or whatever, and he was asked if he gave any advice to any of the receivers coming up with Shane Waldron. He was like, "Is this live?" Yeah. I don't get it though, because anytime we face Shane Waldron, they laid it on us. Yeah. But they're definitely doing something goofy there. I don't know how you don't have any of that figured out. You have too many weapons. I don't think Caleb's horrible, but everything is just bad. It's just so ugly and messy. It's crazy.
Well, the offensive coordinator can only use what he works with. He only can have what he works with. He's got a rookie quarterback, and then you got that offensive line that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
I said it was going to be horrible. It doesn't make a difference if
the Commanders' offensive line was shit last year, and then they got your play calling matters. It's the same thing. Malik Willis, everyone made fun of and called him garbage, called him trash. You get in there with Matt LaFleur, dude. He's 2-0. He's got as many wins in the NFL this season as our guy Jared Goff. Offensive coordinators can make a difference, a world of a difference. And I think I'm thankful for Ben Johnson, but yeah, Shane Waldron must fucking suck.
Yeah, but anyways, the thing I was going to get to about Shane Waldron and the Seahawks, when Dave Canales was there, was the first year they had Geno Smith. Geno Smith had a resurgence, just like
Yeah,
Baker
the quarterback
Mayfield
coach.
had at Tampa Bay. And as soon as he left, the next year under Shane Waldron, Geno didn't look the same.
Yeah.
Same OC, same play calling. It goes hand in hand. That continuity of everything. And that's why I think everything's going to end up being fine with our offense, is because we still got Mark Brunell. We still got JT Barrett, our assistant QB coach. We still have Ben Johnson. But
Yep.
I think Ben Johnson let that offensive genius and tried to channel his inner Todd McVay. Oh, we don't need running backs. Let's just throw the ball. It'll be like Matt Stafford and the Rams there.
Yeah, that was. I love. I'm like a Ben Johnson stand. The same way people like chant Jared Goff's name, I feel that way about Ben Johnson. Week 2 was, there's no excuses for what he did in week 2. That was terrible.
Orlando
55 times in a 4-point game. That's dumb.
Yeah, and some of it on JG too. If you go back and watch, like there was a lot of options for like Sam Laporta and stuff like that across the middle and shorter. But I'm pretty sure his first reads on those throws, regardless, were those guys deep.
This is great having 60 people watching live. We are going live into Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So we are everywhere, and we're getting views, and I love it.
Smash the like button.
Yeah,
That's right.
100%. I don't care if you're on Twitter. I don't care if you're on Facebook. I don't care if you're on YouTube. The likes do help. It'll be fuck Detroit after Hawks win on Monday Night Football. Hawks are 13-5 and won the last 6 in a row. Yeah, but you know what? You don't have the same coach. You guys haven't faced a team built like the Lions yet. So don't think it's going to be an easy win. It's going to be a close game either way. And when I write my game reviews, I don't know if you've been following my writings at all easy, because now I'm an actual editorialist for the Motor City Tribune.
Let's go.
When I do the reviews, I always do, if everything goes right, it'll be this score. If everything goes wrong, it'll be this score. And B's read a couple of them. And whatever I predict, whether it's right or wrong, and whether we win or lose, that score is pretty close to what it actually is.
Yeah, man. That's why I rock you, Jeremy. You know your stuff, man. To Robert though, and shout out to him for watching. Although he's a stinky little Seahawk fan. I'll say this is we looked at the numbers, and I'm pretty sure Antonio Gibson, who was almost out of his way out of the league as a running back, had like 90-something yards in you guys. In that same game, Ramondre Stevenson had like 86 yards and a touchdown. And you're also missing Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams. If you don't think we're about to run that ball down your throat, like it's no tomorrow, like it's just a different team, guys. Even last year we faced them too. Remember that was week 2. Our defense never really got together, but like our offense, like Jameer hadn't got going yet. Like none of that stuff was like in sync yet. Like I think Seattle fans are beginning for like a awakening. They've been whooping on us for sure. That's why they're so confident. But I don't think they realize what's going to happen on Monday.
History is what it is. It's history. Every year is a different year. I mean, just like everybody was talking about how, we've beaten Arizona so many times. I said, but history is history. That stuff's in the past. It's whatever comes down, whatever team wants it out there in the field. So, and obviously Arizona didn't, because Detroit was a better team. But anyway,
yeah,
I think that's going to happen with us in Seattle too. I think whether Dan will get in the press conference, and he won't say that obviously, but this is one of those games he circled like, yeah, we got to beat these guys. This team and the next team we play, Dallas. Yeah. 2 circles right there, back to back.
Yeah. AG too.
This game has been sold out since it was announced, because when they announced it prior to the season, the black jerseys were already said were going to be revealed, because it's Calvin Johnson going into our Lions Hall of Fame. We don't have a Ring of Honor. That's the Cowboys, guys. We have the Pride. So he's going into the Pride.
So that's what they're calling them now, blackberries. Got blueberries, blackberries. So what's the white ones? White berries.
Hey, I like that hat, man.
Ice cream.
Oh, I love this hat. I'll tell
you why too, for the black jerseys.
I'll tell you why this is still my favorite logo, because it's a throwback to when the Lions were dominant. Everybody says an anorexic lion. I said, you know what's funny about an anorexic lion? They eat till they puke.
He's hungry. Yeah. Most dangerous kind of lion is a hungry one.
You know what? You can have your soft spot for Mike McDaniel or Mike McDonald or whoever he is.
Mike McDonald. Yeah.
Guess what? He's the enemy this week.
Yeah.
As a Lions fan, I can't root for him.
No. That's the one thing that kind of makes me nervous. Well, three things. There's three things that actually make me nervous. And they all have names. Devon Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen, and Mike McDonald. Devon Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen are they're bad men. Bad boys. And then you got Mike McDonald. When we went to Baltimore last year, he turned Ben Johnson around, took his underwear and put it over his head and sent him back to Detroit. So I'm hoping then, that pissed him off enough to find out what the hell went wrong in that game. But those are the only things that scare me. But I tell you what, no matter what the defensive plan, running the football could work against anything. Smash mouth football. It's you can know the play, but if we run to perfection, you're not going to be able to stop it.
We get the best offensive line in the league. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't be running the ball. That's what offensive line like to do. They like to run block. There should be no problems here. This is what I can't understand about Ben Johnson's play calling.
I know exactly what happened in the Ravens game as far as our O-line is concerned. Week 6, that was the first week we were missing Glasgow, Ragnow, and Jonah Jackson. We didn't have all three of them. We were playing backups across the board. So all we had was Sewell, and I think even Decker went out in that game, and Sewell switched to left tackle. So it was just a revolving door because it was Skipper at right tackle and then everything else. It was bad.
But AG's defense was confused from the get-go.
Yeah.
Now, there was players running into each other, didn't communicate.
The NFL shot that down, and so did Sheila. She goes, "No, I'm not buying you a live lion."
I think we had our offensive line that day. They just beat the shit out of us.
No, that was the first. I know at least Ragnow and Jonah Jackson was out because they both got hurt at the end of week 5.
Yeah, it just started bad. The game started bad.
It started off.
AG had people running. I was like, "What? Okay, this is Lamar Jackson, right? What?" It's like guys are looking like, "Where you supposed to be? Where you at, man?" I'm like, dude.
Somebody just said orgy for Heisman. Yeah, with 32 yards in the air and 100 on the ground.
Yeah, defense, man. Like with Lamar or guys like that, sometimes there's only just so much you can do. Like when they're out there just making plays, it's like fuck. Like you don't game plan. Like you can't game plan for that type of sporadicness. Or, that type of playmaking ability. That's why I'm on people's shows and they ask me like, how can we stop this running quarterback? I'm like, brother, we just gotta, and that's why they're so lethal, man. Because it's not every play is designed for them to run. It's we talk about with golf. Just wins there or take it.
Right, and
you still have to play the pass.
Let's talk about how accidentally by going to zone in the second half, because we did have the 10-point lead. When Arizona stopped running crossing routes, we didn't need a spy because we had a middle linebacker in a flat zone right in the middle. So if there was nobody coming his way, what was he able to do? Spy the quarterback. That was the biggest difference in Kyler Murray's game in the second half. He couldn't get past the line of scrimmage. Jack Campbell or the other linebacker, Ben Neiman, who actually came in and did pretty good after Barnes went out.
Orlando, AG don't like to use a spy. He's said that many times. He does not like it.
I guess like listening to him today, he's kind of talking about it, and it's like you have your run gap, your run responsibility, but I guess they didn't want him like clashing through him on those pass plays. Just stay kind of like you know when to rush.
That's all you can do with running quarterbacks is contain them. That's it.
Yeah,
you can't rush them. You can't make that. That's why Aiden Hutchinson was quiet during that game. He wasn't trying to rush the quarterback as like he usually does. He was just trying to contain him, and that's what that was good. That was a good concept by AG is to contain, and they did well. They did good with that.
Yeah,
the defense has not been the problem with the Lions in these last 3 games.
What a blessing that's been. How weird is that?
How weird is it to say that right now through week 4 now because they already played. Dallas is 2-0 on the road and 0-2 at home.
Because nobody likes them at home.
But dude, last year they weren't even good last year, bro. They beat, I believe, 2 teams above 500, and one was where we got fucked by the referee, and then the other one, if I'm not mistaken, was their divisional rival. Which anything happens in those games, you know those teams like the back of your hand, you know. So like they didn't beat any teams above 500 last year. Not a single one. That team was all fucking cupcake and fluff, and everybody's fucking parading around like they're fucking contenders, and that's why they got their asses kicked in the first round of the playoffs because they actually faced a good team that they happened to avoid all fucking year. I hate the Cowboys, and I hate the hype around them. I wasn't hyping up this offseason. How the fuck can you put them as a contender when what happened last year happened, and now they lost pieces? How the fuck are you putting that team as a contender? I'm sorry, I'm losing my shit. That pisses me off.
No, I'm with you. I've said on a couple of shows that Dallas, people's got Dallas as a contender. I said they'll be lucky if they finish third in that division.
Yeah, dude. CD Lamb's good, and Dak is okay too, but like they're not contenders.
The best player on the team is CD Lamb.
Conversation, man. Yes, CD's amazing.
Yeah, especially now that Micah Parsons is hurt. But Micah Parsons, and I'm going to say this right now: when you're watching that defense, he is fantastic from September through November, and he disappears faster than the whole Cowboys team in the playoffs come December and January. Yeah. He does nothing. He didn't do anything against us in that Dallas game last year, remember? He was there, but he didn't really make any sacks. He didn't get any pressures.
So we got good offensive line.
I know.
Yeah, he's built kind of skinny, too, for a guy to be playing, the with the big heavies like that all year round. I'm sure he gets beaten down throughout the season.
Oh, yeah, and now with this high ankle sprain, that's what, a minimum of 3 to 6 week injury, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I'm just joking, but maybe he should stop doing his damn podcast. Maybe be all right then.
You know what, Orlando? And you want to know what 3 it's going to be? It damn sure ain't the Bears.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Vikings, it's going to be the Packers, and it's going to be the Lions.
Yeah.
Because I've said, when I looked at the schedule, I had almost every team going 1-1. I think every team's going to win their home games, and every team's going to, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's 3 losses right there. We already had 1, and I predicted a 12-5 season again because I don't see more than 5 losses.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man.
Well, I said 14-3, so
I know you
did. Got 2 more to go.
It's a tough schedule.
It's only week 3. A lot of teams are showing their. I always say this every year. Just like I said, this is with the Tigers. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. And these guys are making a big powwow in the beginning of the season. Look what happens near the end of the season.
And
I think that's what you got to look at.
I think our replacement for Ragnow is on the practice squad because prior to him having his ACL injury, Kingsley Eguakun was considered the best center in football for 2 years in a row, as a sophomore and a junior, and then he got hurt. As a freshman and a sophomore, got hurt his junior year and missed his senior year. I think this guy is going to be trained up by Frank Ragnow. There's a reason why they gave him the most of the guaranteed money out of everybody on the practice squad.
Well, think about it, too. It's not just Frank Ragnow. It's Hank Fraley, too. Right. He's out there. He's coaching that offensive line up. Dude's awesome. So, like I said, we got plenty of awesome coaches right now in position coaches.
We really do, man.
I hate to say it. For 1 week, I have to be a Packers fan because it's better for us in the division if the Vikings lose this week. As much as I hate to say that.
He's correct.
But it is better to root for the Packers because then we might end up with 3 teams 3-1.
Yep. I take that over 4-0 Minnesota. Kevin O'Connell's so much better than I initially gave him credit for. That guy can coach his ass off. I got a good. And to be fair, too, he does have a hell of a defensive coordinator in Brian Flores as well. I kept telling everybody, too, they're laughing at me because they lost Hunter. But I'm like, their defense got better. That guy got the pieces that he wants to cook the way that he likes to call defense. He got Alexander Ginkle, right, wanted to do the lines. I think he's excellent as a Sam. They got Jonathan Gennard, who was amazing with the Texans last year, and then went and grabbed Dallas Turner. And they grabbed all those guys in secondary too. Rest in peace to Kyrie Jackson. That would have been another problem to have. I like that kid too, coming out of Oregon. That's awful. That happened to him. But they grabbed a lot of pieces on defense that fit what he likes to do. And now look at them. They're the second best defense in the league right now.
If I remember right, in 2023 or 2022 season, we extended Fraley because that was the last year of his contract, and we gave him big money in a 4-year contract. Then he's gonna get poached. People are gonna try to poach him. That doesn't mean he's gonna leave. What Dan Campbell did with that snafu of the halftime field goal unit rushing on while they're doing the snap, that is why his assistants love him almost as much as the players. Is instead of calling somebody out and throwing them under the bus, he just said, "That's all on me. I'm the head coach. It's my responsibility," and left it at that. That is very smart for a head coach to do. Eberflus, you've seen him in the, Waldron called a bad game. Oh, this person did something bad, or this person did something bad. LaFleur has done it too. You can say what you want, but there's a time to be that dictator type of coach, and Dan Campbell does it at the right time. It's behind closed doors in a one-on-one situation. Hey, buddy, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Straighten up, fly right.
Yeah. That's just like a big, like the day I pulled out and gave up on Patricia, or I just like, why not? I mean, he fucking sucked either way, but like the day I knew it was never going to be a thing was the day he hit the podium. Was like, I called the best defensive play of all time. Had zero accountability. Like, to be a leader, especially in those environments, like, you have to be accountable. And when you're accountable yourself, you're able to hold your players accountable too. And that's just leadership. When you put that accountability in the players' hands, you don't have to fucking babysit them all the time, because they look up to you and see how you carry yourself. So they're going to hold themselves the same way.
Absolutely. So, what is your keys to the game, Easy?
Run, 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 and run. You don't get cute with this defense. Mike McDonald undressed you last season. This I said earlier. There's one thing like you can try to game plan for, yes, but like, if you don't have the pros and Joes to execute it, the people run football on you all day long if they want to. That's the beauty of it. That's why offensive linemen love it. It's way easier to move your 300-pound body forward than it is to hold it still and have another 300-pound body come towards you. Devon Witherspoon, I think, is phenomenal. Tariq Woolen, I think Lions fans know both those guys well. I'm pretty sure they both got pick sixes on us.
Yes.
Yeah, both rookies.
That was you got to remember the last two games. Yeah. That was on Goff. Goff did that, throwing some stupid passes right in.
Yeah,
that was a difference in the game to me.
That out too, but like that's what happened, So don't put Goff in those situations. Don't run the football. And if you are going to pass it, set them up out of a play action. One thing Jared Goff is elite at is the play action. Run the football so he could pass out play action. And then on defense, for me, you got to get pressure up the middle and get Geno Smith. I just watching them. A little bit of tape I watched in Seattle this week. As much as they're missing those tackles, or the one tackle, I should say, the middle is where they're weak regardless. Laken Tomlinson's like a starter for him right now. He kind of sucks. No, all due respect. I hate saying stuff like that. But DJ Reader, it's on him. DJ Reader and Lee McNeil, like, I'm looking towards those guys to command double teams. So Aiden Hutchinson has that one-on-one against a guy that doesn't belong in the same field as him.
Easy, we had a couple people jump in the chat, and he goes, "Who is this young guy? Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell him where you can be found."
Oh, that's my guy, Joe.
Yeah,
Joe tunes in during dinner. That's my name's Easy. For everybody else, though, I'm Easy from Woodward Sports, and I'm also been making content for Lions Nation Unite with Herman Moore. You catch us post game after around like 7 p.m. usually on Sundays. I don't know how we're gonna do it this Monday because I'll probably be pretty inebriated after that game. But I'm live on Woodward Sports, and you also subscribe to Lions Nation Unite. I post randomly there as well.
I'm subscribed to both. But
we gotta get you on. We gotta get you on one of those Lions Nations Unite.
Oh, 100%. I would join in a heartbeat. You know this. But I'm gonna say one thing. I remember the first time I met you on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, and we were talking, and you were literally looked at Jim and goes, Who is this guy? He knows his shit.
Yeah, Rock was smoking Jeremy B.
Yep. And I think that was the episode where the nickname was coined because John Robinson was in the chat and he goes, "Man, this guy's smoking so much he might die."
Yeah, I think he was outside smoking a cigarette the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I respect it.
But if we're gonna pass it, get Laporta the football. You know what? I love Laporta, but I almost want to use him as a decoy in this game with his ankle being the way it is. You give him the ball, you're giving the defense a target.
Yeah.
His ankle.
Listen,
He played on a worse injury in the playoffs. So
that's a
I
playoff.
don't want. Yeah, I mean, before the playoffs, he got hurt before the playoffs, and he still was playing. So I mean, it don't.
Well, you're right.
Every game is a playoffs right now.
Neil, also known as Bandit from Detroit Fan Report, B. Strilla, myself, we've been calling Laporta Potty for over a year now because he shits on defenses. And I saw that shirt you had out. That's great. The Laporta Potty shirt.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Laporta stuff, I love Laporta, but like Ben Johnson, former tight ends coach, Dan Campbell, former tight end, and his former tight ends coach. And then remember we traded TJ Hawkinson before Laporta got here. We set a franchise record for touchdowns by a tight end. If his ankle's bothering him or he can't perform up to par, I think Brock Wright can handle that. And I think he got catches in that Arizona game. I think that's before he even got hurt. So, I mean, he's key for this game because the quarterbacks are going to be locked on our receivers. But if he can't go or if he's not himself, I'd rather just rest him so he's healthy for the season.
I personally think because he's faster, they're going to put Tariq Woolen on JMO.
They have
He's
to.
the faster of the two. If they don't, Devin Witherspoon will get burnt. We've seen it. He gets burnt by fast receivers.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest. I'm just giving my honest opinion on it. On the games I've seen, even when he was at Illinois, he was a great cover guy. But if they had a speed guy, if they do a double move and he bites, they're gone.
Yeah. J-Mo's got that. He's got it, man. That's how he is, especially too. Orlando, I would start Brock if Laporta was out.
Orlando, yeah, I would almost put Brock in the flex because guess what? Laporta is not out. He's playing. So whichever one you want, one or the other should be in your flex because right now Devontae Adams is out. Tank Dell is out for the Houston Texans. There's a bunch of wide receivers out right now. It's crazy how many are hurt this week.
Yeah, and both Patrick and Robinson are suited up and on the 53-man roster. So we got some big receivers too. And put them in there and some options.
As long as there's two offensive linemen hurt for the Ravens, you can't say Andrews is your option because he's a blocker right now. That's what the only reason why they have any offense whatsoever is he's helping out in the blocking game.
No, I think he's just saying that's either way. That's his option. You don't have any other way to go.
Andrews. So that's a hell of a tight ends group to have.
I wonder if they're going to give any plays to Hess, man. Hess, I want to see something out of Hess too.
I like what I've seen out of Hess at fullback, and I like when they swing him out wide because he's able to set that edge for the running game to get around him for Gibbs. Because if you notice, when he's at that fullback and Gibbs into the backfield, he always moves out to that other tight end position in whatever direction Gibbs is going. That's something that I've seen. And you can't say that other defensive coordinators haven't seen it. They just haven't been able to beat him yet.
No, I like Parker Hesse. I see him every once in a while too. I don't know if you guys know it, but noticing they've been putting our guy Sione Vaki out there at fullback every once in a while. And I just know that's going to turn into a big play one of these days. They're going to give it to him on some funky's going to happen.
I want some sort of weird option where you got Monty,
Vaki
at fullback, and Gibbs in the slot. I want to see that play calling done. And I said with those three running backs, you could even go like a old school full house formation. Not even have a wide receiver on the field.
Yeah, I like Vaki a lot too, man. He's got great contact balance. Dude, he is he's a natural like runner of the football, man. That's why they drafted him. And I think you can play him at slot if you had to.
Yeah, I think what's good about Ben Johnson too is that he'll run same personnel. I mean, same packages, but with different personnel. So you'll throw out these key personnel people, and then they'll run that same play, and then the next play they'll run a different personnel package with the same play. It's his scheming is good. Once he's on his game, he's like that. And that's what I want to see more of because it confuses the damn defensive coordinator. It's like, well, are they gonna do? No, damn. And so there you go.
Yep, that's exactly how. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Keep running the football, running the football. Come up with that same formation. Boom, play action to JMO or whatever it may be.
Right.
That's I think with the JMO in arounds. I noticed they ran a couple things out of the same formation or the same play action too. JMO going around there, he's not always getting the ball. Sometimes it's a screen to. I think it was Monty who caught the screen last week, but it was the same. Little JMO fake end around.
Right.
Yeah, they're gonna. I think they're gonna gel throughout the season. They just gotta get comfortable with like finding JMO the ball within the flow of their style, if that makes sense.
I mean, you could tell that they were going to do that end around with JMO. I think he was able to go in motion, but I think he started his motion just a hair too soon. You know what I mean? Saying in the whole scheme of things, and that's why they were able to blow it up because they know if that motion comes at that exact time, that's the play that's coming. I'm almost wondering if he should have made it look like he was just going to switch to the other side and then run around Goff because that had changed the look of it, where he's doing it from like the split end position rather than out at the wide out position.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they're trying too hard to get balls to Jameson, and they shouldn't do that. They should just use the same offense that they had. Well, obviously the variation of offense that they used last year. Run heavy first. It's kind of like when Dan came out there after the Tampa Bay game. Say we were trying to set up the run with the pass. I said, Dan, you're full of shit. And there's no damn way that this offense has been ever predicated like that. It's a run first to set up the pass. That's why Goff is here because he's a play action quarterback. Come on, stop feeding that bullshit. I know you're just trying to say stuff to make everybody else feel better.
No, yeah, he was definitely saving face for Ben because I'm sure once they got behind the scenes, Ben got a earful. Because what happened the very next game, I've never even heard of that expression, to be honest with you. We're passing to set up the run. I've never heard of that in my fucking life. Sorry for swearing, but like, God damn, I've never. Yeah, I'm sure Ben kind of laid into. I'm sorry, Dan laid into Ben after that one. Like, what the fuck were we thinking?
Well, he did, and that's another thing. After that, he also did say he got with a couple of the coordinators. Obviously, that would have been to me Ben and Phipp because both of them had a problem in that game. So, he did that. He addressed that situation.
Yep.
But I said, hey, JB, remember I said the first three things they need to do in the Arizona game is what? Run. What'd they do? Run. The first three plays.
And they did it in the second half when they came out. They got a first down running the ball. Then they went run, pass, run, and got another first down, and then it stalled, if you remember right. You know what I thought was the best part of that entire game? We used Jack Fox and we used Jake Bates when we had to. We didn't go for it all the time on fourth down. It was such an amazing and refreshing thing. I don't think Lions fans even realized that we didn't do it. You know what I mean? We did it once. That's it. And we got it.
James. Given Jared's game clincher, I think we need to switch it to a pure RPO offense.
Oh my God.
Okay, James. I know he's joking, but that's funny. I mean, JMO's electric. That's not. I mean, but we were 12-5 last year, and JMO was still electric.
Yeah, I mean,
he practically won us the damn San Francisco. Well, he could have won us the damn San Francisco game basically by himself.
And Jack Fox is a crazy weapon. Flipping the field the way he did. We pinned out of his he had 5 punts. and 4 of them he pinned them in the 10.
Yep. He
That-
was the NFC special teams player of the week.
Yep. Yeah, I understand that, but you know what? When you don't have the personnel to pull off those plays, Orlando, you're going to fail. There's a big difference. We have built this team off of that. We started doing that in 2021 because our defense was that bad. The defense gets a little better in 2022. We continue to do it because our secondary was atrocious. And in 2023, we still had an atrocious secondary. This is my only knock on AG. What cornerback has he developed in his tenure? Who had a great season one year, didn't have a good season the next year? AO was a top 10 corner that second year after Petrasha left. 6 interceptions. QBR against was under 60. He had like 6 passes defended and 6 interceptions. That was almost league leading stats right there. And then the next year, Jeff Okudah gets healthy because he was the 3rd pick overall. Let's just make him the CB1 and throw Okudah over there to CB2. It ruined him mentally. He never looked the same after that. He never recovered, and he still hasn't recovered. He's on a practice squad now.
I think he's injured right now too.
Yeah, for the Giants.
Oh, AO. Yeah. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Okuda. Yeah, AO had a pick last night.
Yeah, he finally got to play because Adoree Jackson was hurt, and then their nickel corner was hurt. So he got to come in the dime package in the 3rd and long situation. And he had a pick because it was zone coverage, which is what he flourished at. That's the other thing that was bad. Okudah's a press man corner. So we did more man coverages to start the season. Okudah was a zone coverage corner who was just okay at man coverage.
The man zone split. No, AO got his pick for the Cowboys. They poached him from the Giants practice squad.
Oh, good.
But same thing though. Like, yeah, he had like. If you go back and watch a lot of those interceptions too, that's the thing about interceptions at times. Even sacks. Sometimes you get a little lucky. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you're just in the right spot. Maybe another guy hits his hand on the ball, but you're the one that catches it. You
mean like Will Harris?
Yeah.
He only catches an interception when somebody bats it in the air or when somebody throws it super bad because he's never in right coverage.
Yeah. I think he's going to be a bad motherfucker too. The rest of the secondary stays healthy. He's Kirby, man. He has got a knack for that ball. And I've been saying since his rookie year. Last year, a lot of people kind of pulled out of it, but I don't think they understood. Like, he was kind of like the lone guy back there. Because Branch was playing so close on the nickel, he had no help back there. It's just like all him.
He had almost the exact same stats as Kyle Hamilton, and Kyle Hamilton was considered the 5th best safety last year.
Right.
And they left Kirby Joseph off the top 32 safeties.
Yeah. I think this year on next gen stats, he only allowed 4 yards. He's been targeted 8 times, only allowed 1 catch, and then he has those 2 interceptions as well. He's,
you know what his passer rating? You know what Kirby's passer rating against this year is right now through 3 games?
0% or something something crazy.
0.0.
Yeah.
Next best in the NFL is Xavier McKinney. That's your number 1 and 2 safeties in the league. You can say one's better than the other. They both got 3 picks, I think, don't they?
Kirby's got 2. McKinney's got 3.
Okay, so
but McKinney played against Will Levis, so
right.
that helps.
I mean, Kirby's got the highest PFF rating on the corners right now, which is another thing that kind of worries me. As I saw, Carlton Davis has not been doing very well as a corner. He's been 18 or 23. So he's been targeted 23 times and he's allowed 18 passes.
And
he's got the most yards in the season so far. Yep. There's some context to it though, and I don't think he's been great by any means, but we are so elite at stopping the run that all teams can do is pass that ball, and so I think that's why some of our numbers in the passing game, even last year a little bit, although they were horrendous last year, I think will be skewed a little bit, is because no one's going to run that football on us. So like
Right.
the only way they're going to move that ball is passing. So like naturally, some numbers aren't going to be great for guys, and it's just part of the it's part of the we play football. What you hope for in that situation though is that somebody makes a mistake because this I'll never forget one of my coaches growing up. Only three things that happen when you throw a football: incompletion, and two of them are bad: incompletion, interception, or you make the catch. So like, I think that's like AG's philosophy is force these teams to throw the ball, and now you got these playmakers like Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. I think Jack Campbell, that was the vision with him, is being, because he was in college a little bit of a playmaker. I think that's the idea of them. They want to stop the run, force quarterbacks to throw, mistake, which it happens every once in a while.
So
More than once
yeah,
in a while.
your show
Consistently this year.
longer than usual because you know what? He's here, and we don't get a chance to talk to him that much. I know I've called into Woodward Sports and talked to him a couple of times over the past year. I remember both times you were like, "Smoking Jeremy B."
Yeah, that was awesome.
uh, but yeah. My best thing that's happened to me as a writer was being at the draft as a member of the media and being in the media room when Arnold got up there. The best part though is because Caleb was drafted at 7 o'clock. Remember, 7:05, the pick was in, and
Hmm.
he gets announced, and he does his the Bears before he walks off the stage. He doesn't make it up there till almost 11 p.m., which is about the exact time that Terry on was picked. So he's up there on the stage, and he gets ready to walk off, and the Chicago beat writer says, "Hey, Caleb, can I get a bear down from you?" He didn't say bear down. He grabbed that microphone with those pink fingernails, and he goes, "Go Bears." I called him
Go
LGB.
down.
I called him
Yeah.
LGBTQB1 right there.
Wow.
That's that weird follow through he's got on his hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rawr, rawr.
I can say stuff on here I can't really say on my other shows. But I seen this meme out there. It said, I had nothing against anybody anyway. I just thought
Oh,
it was a funny meme. They call him the LGBTQB or whatever. I was like,
mhm. But
Yeah.
I did that.
that's clever.
I did that at the draft on my live draft reaction show afterwards because I was coming out while we were live and saying everything after the interview. The three best interviews I saw: Layatu Latu, J.C. Latham, and Darius Robinson. Those three guys, if you listen to them speak in their preparation and what they said they do to get ready for a game, they sounded like a coach. The
Hmm.
amount of film and everything, it was amazing listening to them. I was recording them and going, wow. And after Arizona picked Darius Robinson, I was like, now I know what Brad and Dan saw in him because that's why he was high up on the list. But when you
Hmm.
have a shot to get that corner, that it was a shutdown corner in college and has the chance to progress into one in the NFL. Anybody that expected Terrion to be a shutdown corner right away can't. He's a rookie. Because some rookies come out and get it right away, and some of them take a year or two to develop. So give the kid a chance. Oh, and now I have to do the disclaimer because it just entered the chat, and no, that's not my kid. But it says Jeremy Bullrich Jr. here. The views and opinions of Jeremy Bullrich Jr. does not reflect that of Kneecap Buddying with the Motor City Lions or I Smoking Jeremy B.
He said
Dad, I
no.
would love to bring back Eric Ebron and trade Laporta the view. I can't read the rest of it because he tried to put his own disclaimer in there.
Yeah.
Notice he stole my draft profile pic. But I was really hoping you were going to be there, and then I saw you were doing your draft party with Erman Moore and all that, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. I missed the vibes downtown that day. And to be honest with you, man, I don't do well in like giant crowds like that. I just get anxiety. Like, too much crazy stuff going on in the world these days, man. I think you become like perfect target in those type of situations. If I was in the media room, I'd be happy there. I'd be chilling there. But downtown, all those people, man, I
Oh yeah.
hate it.
And it's like I talked to a police officer on day 3 before the draft started because he was there eating his lunch and taking his break, and then had a cigarette. And I lit mine up. We're standing outside, and I said, "So, tell me, how many people were actually here day one of the draft? He goes, in here, you know how many it was. They announced it every day. It was over 300,000, for day one and day two. He goes, outside, there was another 1.3 million people in Detroit for the draft. At all the different draft watch parties and everything else. Ford Field the whole lower bowl was filled watching the draft at Ford Field for people that couldn't afford to go into that expense. It was expensive. I'm telling you, the cheap seats to get inside the bleachers inside the gate, that was $300 a ticket. It was $1,200 to be on that main floor area right in front of the draft.
I believe it, man. It was. Listen, I think we're one of the best sports towns in the entire country. Just we are. I mean, look what we got going with the Tigers right now. Look at what we do for opening day for the Tigers. On top of just what we've proved during the NFL draft and how we prove when we go on the road. Like now that we finally have a football team, Detroit fans are the best. We deserve all the success we're seeing right now for sure.
Right.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I put you this way. I'm at a network 5 days a week covering Detroit sports. Nowhere else really in the country do they have networks dedicated to Detroit, or to their city sports. You got your little radio station, whatever. You don't have two of those things going on, and we do because shout out to Detroit sports fans, man.
Yep, and I want to say a shout out to everybody here because EZ came on my show the first time when I said I was having my 100th episode, and I was sitting at about 100 subs a couple years ago. Prior to the draft, I was at 180, and if it wasn't for my fans, because I'm not one of those guys that begs you to subscribe down there in the bottom, but since the draft, during the slow news phase, and we're just in the infancy of the season now, I have climbed all the way to 520 subs already. And it's because of my fans putting the word out there. And occasionally somebody types in kneecap biting on YouTube, and for some reason my show pops up as one of the first 3 things in there now.
Hell yeah.
Yep, I agree. If we win the Super Bowl, there's no way I'm missing it. As soon as it's won, no matter where I'm at, I am going to pitch a tent at Woodward Avenue, 100%, somewhere near downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit fans are the best, and our Lions podcasters are the best. And Brent says easy because he's easier here.
Shout out to Brent. Yeah, Lions fans, we are the best by far. We deserve all the success we're having. Real quick, I don't know if NBA fans are watching or listening, but this has nothing to do with any Detroit teams. But the Minnesota Timberwolves are about to trade Karl-Anthony Towns to the New York Knicks. I just thought that was crazy. That's insane.
Wow. So the rich get richer because the Knicks have a decent team. You add Karl-Anthony Towns to go with Julius Randle and company. That's going to be a tough team. That's going to be a tough out.
I had to read that like 5 times to make sure that was real. It's the real Shams. That's sorry. That blew my mind.
So I got to ask, what's your score prediction, Beach Drilla? What do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be somewhere between. I'm going to say 28-24 Lions.
All right. Easy, what's yours?
I feel like it's going to be a rough, nasty game. At least I hope it's that way because that's the way I see us winning. I think it'll be something like a weird score. I hate doing score predictions because you never know what the hell's going to happen. But it'll be like 24. For some reason, dude, I want to say 18. I know it's like sounds crazy, but like I just feel like something weird is gonna happen, man. Maybe a safety, a bunch of field goals. But maybe I should go 7. Let me go 17. That's safer. It makes more sense. But I think it's gonna be a funky game.
I think it's gonna be something like that too. Except I think it's gonna be the closer. I think it's only gonna be like that 4-point win, 24-20. That's what I think. I think it's gonna be 24-20. That just sounds right in my head. And it covers the 3.5 point spread.
There you go. Yeah, it's
of
you
10
got,
point
you got
wins.
two good defenses out there, and so I think something weird is going to happen.
Right. Something weird's going to happen. Either somebody's getting a safety. Yeah, I don't. I'm not saying which team. I'm not
Yeah,
predicting which team. I don't want to put that juju out there and then have it come back to bite us. Somebody's going to get a safety, and somebody's going to get a pick six. One way or the other. It's going to happen this game. I see it happening. But now that we've done all that, everybody knows where they can find DZ that's a Detroit fan because we've all been watching him when he was at Speakeasy Sports doing his Lions content
yeah,
and
man.
on Detroit Lions on the Prowl on Free for All Fridays like I was. And then he even joined me when I was We Are Lions Nation.
Yeah,
And now he's joining me here for the second time. And I'd love to have you here more often. I just knew that with this being Monday Night Football, Friday night might be the night I could catch you.
you got me, man. Just had to wait for that Tigers win, huh?
Oh, it ended perfect because like 9 o'clock game was over.
Perfect timing. Yeah, man. Yeah, Detroit, man. We're good spot for sport Red Wings right now too. I think they might make the playoffs this year.
So let's get one of those.
I forgot to bring that up.
Let's get one of those fired up win speeches that we used to get out of you. You know what I'm
Well,
talking about?
the Lions.
Yeah.
Shoot, man. Sometimes I'd be drinking in my basement back then. I had to take a charger.
I
I'll tell
remember
you what.
that. We're gonna rip their heart out. We're gonna-
Yeah. And then we lost. How about this? I'll tell you what. If anybody's active on social media, I'm sure you saw a couple of memes referencing black Air Force energy. You see anybody at a party with black Air Forces, you know they mean business or they're there for trouble. Detroit Lions are rocking all black on Monday night. And the Seattle Seahawks are posting top 5 Ford Field highlights like they own the place. Last time they left here with a ski mask at our hometown, CJGJ gone. None of that flashy bullshit. It's black Air Force energy Monday night. We're gonna run the ball down their throats. We're gonna sack Geno Smith. We're gonna force some turnovers. We're gonna whoop some ass. And they're gonna be leaving black and blue like what we're rocking on Monday night during Monday Night Football, baby. Detroit Lions, let's get it. One pride. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right, B. Shout out
Do
where
it.
you're from, what you're doing right now on social media, because it's important that people know where you're at.
Well, I do a podcast called One Ass Cheek and Three Toes. And I always laugh when I say that. Hey, it's a laughable title. But do that. We are going to be on at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday for the pregame show. And then again on Tuesday for the post at 6 p.m. as well. So catch us on there. We're on YouTube as well. Just subscribe, whatever. Do your thing. Just watch. Have fun. We're going to have fun with it. So
It's nice meeting
we'll
you.
be
brother.
live.
And last but not least, it's time for me to do our favorite sponsors. You've already saw the pictures. I got to do them in order. It's time to turn on the Echo voice because Brent love it when I go this way. So I'm going to let Easy decide. Do I start at the top of the division or do I start from the bottom?
Bottom. Yeah.
It's Fuck the Bears. And FTE. And even though they're leaving the division, they can go get skull fucked.
I still like the fact that he's crying.
Last but not least, I do have to do my paying sponsor because he pays
Maybe
me.
those aren't tears.
That was the best part of the whole thing. My co-host Dan Leonard does that. We do tumblers. All of those are available for Lions fans on tumblers. Like my draft one here. Let me show you the one he made me for the draft.
Nice.
So
Yeah, it's
we
nice,
put all
yeah.
this stuff on tumblers. But here is my sponsor. It's Brandon Service right here at the corner of South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. Where? In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome, JP.
That was awesome.
That was
Did you say West African Road?
Yep.
West Atherton.
African. Okay, I'd say what African?
Yep. So stop in and check us out. The used tires start at $40 a piece and up, depending on size and condition. And also, if you need new tires, please call 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself, because I actually work for the owner. So please allow us one day to ship in the new tires. We do the lowest prices in town because we are not like Discount Tire and Canrock and Walmart. We're not going to charge you for the warranty that the manufacturer provides. So stop in and check us out. We usually beat everybody's price. Mention this ad when you're buying a set. We'll give you an additional $10 off.
You have to announce it like that every time now.
You like that with the echo? Oh, Crouch hops in and says, "Go Hawks." Yeah, go right back to Seattle. You can win at home. You ain't winning here.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. Bo Crouch, I expect a good game. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. And as I always end my shows, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Much love to everybody in the chat. We've got 96 people watching. Let's go. I want to see that many likes across the platforms. I don't care which one you're on. Make sure you smash that like button because it helps everybody. Have a great evening and a great weekend.